Okay, so I'm gonna just quickly do this super fast. First thing you're gonna need to do is set up your database. So use MLab. MLab is pretty great. You can start up a free database. It's pretty awesome. Just go ahead and log in, create an account. If you haven't already, I'll just sign in with my account. Alright, go ahead and sign in. Alright, cool. Now from here, what you're going to want to do is you're actually going to want to create a new database. Alright, just choose the free sandbox and then click continue, and then search for your region. Just pick wherever one's closest to you, and then give it a name. We'll name this complaints, and then click submit order. This is all free. Alright, now if we pop on into complaints, what we can do is we have this URL to connect here. Go to your users tab and click add database user, name it DBO, and then give it a password. Let's call it password for now. Needs one, okay, capital P. Okay. And then click create. Make sure it's not read only. Once we're done there, what we need to head on over to is make sure we have Node installed. You can tell if you have Node installed or not by using node-version, and I spelled version wrong, right? And it'll give you the version. Okay, so now go into any folder you want. I have a special folder for all of my Node projects. We're going to be using node.js to host our server. We're going to make a folder, just call it like complaints. Alright, and then head on over into that folder. Alright, then you're going to type npm init-y. This will create a Node project within your folder. Go ahead and then use any editor you'd like. I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code because it's just easier. Okay, cool. Here's an old project I had open. We can go ahead and open up this folder with the editor. I have a command line tool for that. And this will just open it up in Visual Studio right here. Okay, now, really quickly, the next thing you're going to need to do is type npm i-save mongodb space express space body parser. Well, actually, you don't need body parser. Pug. Enter. Now, it's going to be a little complicated in the terms of Pug. Pug is going to make our lives much easier. It's going to allow us to display things dynamically. Go ahead and bounce on over into here, and then go ahead and make a folder. We're going to call it views. Within views, right-click, or you just make a new file. We're going to call this index.pug. It's basically HTML, but with different formatting. We'll just throw this together really quickly. Doc type HTML. If you want, there's actually HTML to Pug converters out there, but we'll just go through HTML, head, title, complaints, okay, and then body, and then within our body we'll have a form, and then our ID will be main form, no action, and then within our form we're going to have an input, type equals text, and then placeholder is going to be name, and then what's really important is we also have a name equals name. And then we'll have a button with button type is equals submit, and then we'll call this submit. Okay, cool. That's all we need for that. And then the next step within here, we're also going to want our p tag with our index. What we call it, results. We called it, and then our script tag. With Pug, you're going to want to put a dot, and this will allow you to write your script down here. So our script down here. Down here, we are going to write. Actually, we don't need this to have that ID. So just have our P. I believe it's each. It's going to be. We're going to use the each complaint in complaints, and then we'll have. We should have, if we want to have like an unordered list, so we could have like an OL, and then within here for each complaint we'll have an LI complaint. All right. So basically, for each complaint in complaints, which is a parameter we'll pass in, fill it with complaint. In script here, we're going to say let form equals document dot query selector, and then we'll select hash main form, and then form dot add event listener submits function e, and really we should use a lambda function here, but it's okay. E dot prevent default. Prevent. Jeez, I can't spell. E dot prevent default. I hope I spelled that correctly. I guess we'll find out. And then we're going to have jeez, what did we have before? Okay, yeah. Okay, and so actually. Okay. Let me think. Okay, we're actually going to want this to have an action. Yeah. Okay. So action. This is actually going to be kind of complicated. Action is going to be /new method. Method is going to be post. Okay. So forget the script. Forget that it even existed. All right. Forget all of that, okay? This is going to be your thing. This is your form, okay? Now we're going to add a new, not in views, in our node folder, just out here. We're going to add a new folder. Call this index.js. All right, this is going to be our JavaScript. Is this in the views folder? Good, it's not. Okay. And here we are going to say const express. We're going to import the express framework. This is going to allow us to have a server. Okay. Then I want a const Mongo, actually client equals Mongo require MongoDB dot spelled that wrong. MongoDB dot Mongo client. All right, so this is basically our database client. From here, we'll say let app equals express, where this will create a new express app. And then because we're using Pug Express, and because we're using Pug, not normal HTML, we need to tell it that app.set view engine to Pug. This will tell it to use Pug instead. And then we want our body parser. So app.use express.url encoded extended is going to be true. Okay, cool. Next, we need to set up our main route. So basically, when we first go to the normal server, then that'll be a GET request. So app.get on slash. So just our base, and we don't have any like, our path is just a slash, right? And then request response. Actually, let me just, because we're using function regress, just to keep things standard, we'll say rest.render. And then index.pug. And then the other thing we're going to want, actually not index.pug, just index. And then we're going to pass in complaints. All right. Now, what are complaints? Well, complaints right now are nothing, but we're going to create that. So over here, we're going to want to write an asynchronous function called getComplaints. Get complaints. All right. We're going to say client.connect. Awaits. Let connect awaits client.connect, and then we want to connect to our Mongo database. So grab this link right here, paste it in, and then just fix whatever you need to fix. So in reality, was it capital P? I hope it was capital. Word. In reality, what we should be using is something called an environment variable, and you can look up what those are on your own. But it's really a pain to set up, so we're just going to have this hard coded into here. So long as we're not making this open source, we should be fine. Just as long as nobody can see our code, because this is going to be our connection key to get in. All right. So once, and then also we're going to say, I think it's new new URL parser. Okay, cool. And then we have no callback because it's asynchronous. All right. Then what we're going to need to do is let dbo equals connection.db, and then our database name, which is going to be what was it? It was complaints. Okay, and then return, and then we're going to say dbo dot collection, right? So a collection is like a table in Mongo. We'll just call this complaint collection. I really hope I'm spelling this correctly. Complaint collection dot find, and then we'll just have a global just query everything, and then we're going to have a .to array. All right, cool. And then we're going to return await this. Okay, remember that's async. So because it's asynchronous, we actually have to execute it like this. We're going to have an asynchronous function in here, invoke it right away, and then we're going to execute this asynchronously. So take this, say let's complaints equals get complaints, right? Await get, right? And then render them like that. All right, cool. Next is we need to be able to add complaints. So we're going to say app.post on /new. Remember that was the method that we set up in here when we said post on /new. So function request, and then we're going to say rest.redirect to /. That's going to be at the very end. That's once everything is finished. So redirect back to the / once everything has been posted. And then we're going to want to have an insert function as well. So we're going to have async function insert complaint, and then complaint. Well, we'll just call this like name. You can add whatever you want to this. You'll see how easy this is, but we're just going to have a name for now. Complaint. And then basically this code is basically just copy and paste. The reason we don't set this up in its own function is just because it's going to be a little hard to copy and paste that to like get that asynchronously. Then in here we're going to say await awaits dbo dot collection complaint collection. It's very important these two things are the same because these are basically the name of the table. Yeah, okay, those are the same. Insert one, right? So insert one thing, and then we can insert just any JavaScript object here. So if we want to have another parameter like message, just add message, and then in here message, right? Makes sense? Cool. So we'll have name right here. And then we're going to say, and actually that should be it, I believe, right over there. So for here, we're going to do this asynchronously again. So async function executes, then await insert, await insert complaint, and then our name. Okay, this is where it's going to be. Where it's going to be rec.body.name. That's going to get the name, kind of like, remember our form.name.value is going to be rec.body.name. Okay, and then once we're done with that, then we're going to redirect, and then that really should be it. Now we're just going to say up here const port equals process.env.port or port 5050 or whatever port you want to host on. Then down here, we're just going to say app.listen, listen on port, and then some sort of callback to let it know that it's running. So server listening on port plus port, something like that. All right, cool. Now to try this out and make sure it works, what we're going to do is jump back into here. And we're actually going to edit this package.json right here. We're going to add a script right here. we call this start. And this is going to be is just node index.js. So basically that's just saying run index.js with node. If you don't want to do this, we can just literally type node index.js. Okay. Hopefully I didn't mess up. What did I mess up? Port is not defined. All right. Was that all caps? Yeah, it should be all caps. Okay, there. All right, let's try that again. It is case sensitive. All right, port server listening. We jump back over here. We go to localhost on 5050. We can say here's our field, right? We're gonna say Tyler Holowinski. I'm gonna click submit. Okay, now we have one complaint. If I do it again, we have 2 complaints. They might say, oh, why is it just complaints? Well, I did forget to do something in here. This needs to be complaint.name because it's an object. So now, if we redo this, it's, I think it's hash. I think that's how you do it. Yes, okay. So use the hash and the curly braces to indicate that it's not just text, it's an object. And now I can say like hi, or I can say like Bobby, right? Bobby, click submit, and then it adds it under Bobby, right? I can reload this page and it stays. I can open this up on my phone. Cool. Now really quickly, this is only going to work if it's hosted under your IP, right? So basically, only localhost will be able to access it. Now from here, you have 2 options. You can either publish it to something else so the world can access it, something like Heroku. So like magiceyev.herokuapp.com, right? There's a website that I made. You just go to Heroku and push your code up. It's super easy. Or if you want people on your LAN to access it, by typing in your computer's IP, there's one more step you have to do down here. And what that is right here under port, you have to add in 0.0.0.0. All right. If you don't do it, it won't work. And then if you want to access it from another computer on your network, you can just bounce back into here. If config, oh, sorry, it's IP config. And then get your IP. So mine is 192.168.0.7. And then just type that in, :5050, and then you should be good to go on any network that you choose. All right. So kind of easy, but also kind of a pain. Sorry about that.